Hare Krishna, Mataji, we cannot hear you. If there is any fan or something, maybe you can try switching it off or slowing it down. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही. या फिर आप नहीं माताजी, या तो अपना माइक अपने पास रख लीजिए.
प्रभु जी मैं फैन ऑफ करके देखती हूँ.
अभी ठीक हो गई.
अब बेटर है प्रभु जी.
Yes, continue, Mataji.
Okay, I continue. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, और हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, और हरि और हरि हरि हरे कृष्णा. सॉरी प्रभु.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me now?
Ji Prabhuji, we can hear
हरे
you.
कृष्णा.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there was a problem. Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna Madhuri. Thank you so much for the Kirtan. Hare Krishna and Namde devotees. So welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading session. So let us begin by showing the results. Today's sessions. Okay, so let us see. So we have 12 participants. Okay, so we have 12 attempts. So this is the result. Atul Prabhu with first position with 49405. Sorry. Ji Mataji 4440 point second position. Anupama Sani Mataji third 4410. Pinky Mataji एक गलत हो गया and fourth position. Preet Mataji fifth position एक गलत हो गया. Saurabh Prabhu दो गलत हो गए. Sixth position. विजय माताजी 3 क्वेश्चन में अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं. सेवन्थ पोजीशन अंकुर शर्मा प्रभु 2 गलत हो गए. तो देखें कि क्या क्वेश्चन गलत हो गए. टफ था क्या इस बार का क्विज?
नहीं प्रभु जी, 2 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे हैं जिनमें थोड़ा डाउट है, मतलब
ओके,
एटलीस्ट फॉर मी.
तो ये क्वेश्चन था जो सबसे ज्यादा गलत हुआ. सन एंड सनशाइन. सो दिस इज
नहीं, दिस वाज क्लियर जी.
और
क्वेश्चन नंबर 4th फॉर मी.
once devotee engaging in open service of the Lord, one will continue the service in all circumstances. Yes, so that, yes, what is the doubt?
मतलब a devotee can always deviate also, right? I mean, they can fall. For example, we have so many examples, like, I mean, they can be illusioned. Uh, for example, Brahmaji got,
But that is a temporary thing. So in one sense,
so
we say that because it is temporary, they
okay.
again come back. So that is how the service will come.
Okay.
But yes, there are both the sides to it. So this is little doubtful question. But in one sense, we can say that because uh, having come to devotional service, they will continue in the service of Asana conscious means that even if there is a deviation, even if they fall down, it is a very temporary thing. Like we see that with other devotees also, when something like that happens, the Lord again protects, and somehow the other by the devotee association, by the nature of the devotees, it again becomes right.
Sure. And if you
Is a
can,
very
Ji,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Ji. Oh,
So
if
that
you
is
can,
a very short-lived thing.
okay, Ji. I have a doubt in one more question, if no
Yes,
one else
fully.
have any. Question number 2. So, I mean, yesterday we were reading that, I mean, Vedas talk a lot more about those fruitive activities
Yes.
where, I mean, so,
Yes.
I mean, praying demigods for fruity activities and all. So is it clearly going back to Godhead, or that's what they want to create now? I mean, that's what Sri Naradji
Yeah.
is asking Vyasdev ji. So, I mean, in a
So
broader sense,
Vedas.
yes, that's true, but yeah.
Yeah. So Vedas deal with all the things that we have a desire, but they deal in such a way that we gradually move to a different goal along with completing our own desires as well. Like for example, if somebody has a mentality, so they can follow the Vedas. So that will, in that will, how it will happen is that if when they follow the Vedas, uh, they are not committing any sin, and in that sense also they will gradually make progress in their self-realization,
Okay.
and
Right.
they are particularly meant for upliftment in their spiritual life. So eventually the goal is the Vedesha survey aham eva. The goal is to know Krishna. To know Krishna means going back home, back to God. Janma karma chimite
Ji.
तत्वता तत्वदेह पुनर्जन्म नीति मामिति सुरज. हम कहते हैं जो मुझे तत्व से जानता है वो कभी वापस नहीं goes back to God.
Right. ठीक है.
The purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, point taken. Little confusing questions. Okay, so let us read further. So we read, I think you have read from 14 to 16 yesterday. And so in this section, what is happening is that Narad Muniji is instructing Srila Vyasdev that what is the importance of telling about the glories of the Lord. And so this is, we are continuing from that section. We will start from त्यागवसधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
First we'll do
Mangala.
Mangalachara. Yeah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravangi Pracharine. Namo Vishnu Padaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sadi Gaur. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram. Om Namaste Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. त्यागवसधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे भजन पक्वो अथर्पते ततो यदि यत्र वा भद्रम् अभुत अमुष्य किं को वार्थ आप्तो Abhajatam swadharmata. Synonyms. Tyaktva. Having forsaken swadharmam, one's own occupational engagement. Charan ambujam, the lotus feet. Hare, of Hari, the Lord. Bhajan, in the course of devotional service. Apakva, immature. Atha, for the matter of. Patet, fall down. Tata, from that place. Yadi, if. Yat, whereupon. Qua, what sort of. Va, or used sarcastically. Abhadram, unfavorable. Abhut, shall happen. Amushya, of him. Kim, nothing. Kahva, artha, what interest. Apta, obtained. Abhajatam, of the non-devotee. Swadharmata, being engaged in occupation service. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Abhijarna Vedanta Translation. One who has forsaken his material occupation to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage, yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain thing. But as far as duties of mankind are concerned, there are innumerable duties. Every man is duty bound not only of his parents, family members, society, country, humanity, other living beings, the demigods, etc., but also to the great philosophers, poets, scientists, etc. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one can relinquish all such duties and surrender unto the service of the Lord. So, if one does so and becomes successful in the discharge of his devotional service unto the Lord, it is well and good. But it so happens sometimes that one surrenders himself unto the service of the Lord by some temporary sentiment, and in the long run, due to so many other reasons, he falls down from the path of service by undesirable association. There are so many instances of this in the histories. Bharat Maharaj was obliged to take his birth as a stag to his intimate attachment to a stag. He thought of this stag when he died. As such, in the next birth he became a stag, although he did not forget the incident of his previous birth. Similarly, Chitraketu also fell down due to his offenses at the feet of Shiva. But in spite of all this, the stress is given here to surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there is a chance of falling down. Because even though one falls down from the prescribed duties of devotional service, he will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Once engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one will continue the service in all circumstances. The Gita, it is said that even a small quantity of devotional service can save one from the most dangerous position. There are many instances of such examples in history. Ajamil is one of them. Ajamil in his early life was a devotee, but in his youth he fell down till he was saved by the Lord at the end. So, जो हम starting में discuss कर रहे थे, so वही यहाँ पे आ गया that so this is the meaning of that always continuing in the service in the circumstances, that even if there is a chance of fall down, one will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है कि भगवत गीता में that even if a small quantity of devotional service can save us from the dangerous position. So, can anybody tell me which shloka is this of Bhagavad Gita? Anyone?
हरे कृष्णा, जिसमें भगवान अर्जुन को कहते हैं कि प्लीज डिक्लेयर दैट माय डिवोटीज नेवर फॉल डाउन. नेवर.
वो ये नहीं है. That is that Lord will always protect.
यस.
वो ये है कि उनके भक्त कभी नाश नहीं होता. बट ये जो यहाँ पे जो लिखा है वो ये है कि in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that even a small quantity of devotional service can save one from the most dangerous position. तो ये है, it is Bhagavad Gita 2.40. नेहा भिक्रमनाशस्ति प्रत्यवायन विद्यते स्व अल्पमपि यस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. कि नेहा भिक्रमनाशस्ति प्रत्यवायन, कि अगर हम हल्का सा भी अगर हम भक्ति में आगे बढ़ते हैं, सो इट सेव्स अस. स्व अल्पम अपि यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. त्रायते मतलब इट सेव्स अस, है ना, तारना इसको, और टू प्रोटेक्ट. महतो भयात्, from the dangerous position. And it is described that the most dangerous position that one can be is to fall from the species of human being to lower species. Or जैसे ही, if anybody even chants the holy name of the Lord, that means the devotional service has started. And even that small quantity, it saves us from taking the birth in the lower species of other lives. So that is the credit of bhakti. That is the credit of devotion. It saves us from the most dangerous position. And what to say of those who are always engaged in service of the Lord? Even if there are some incidents which happen here and there, like we take the example of Maharaj Bharat, जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है, that Bharat Maharaj, he was engaged in devotional service, but he got attached to a deer, and at the end of life, he remembers the deer, and in the next life, he takes the birth as a deer, but he continues to remember his past life because of the mercy of the Lord, and in the next life, he takes birth as Jad Bharat. And as Jad Bharat, he is completely aloof from all the materialistic activities, although acting outside as a foolish person, but from inside he is a pure devotee. And तो वो उसका जो प्रसंग आता है, अगर भागवतम में आएगा, पढ़ेंगे उसको. So like that. So here, Narad Muni is glorifying devotional service, है ना? The one who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in devotional service, that they may fall down, but there is no danger of being unsuccessful. और भगवद गीता में भगवान भी बताते हैं, जैसे अर्जुन पूछते हैं कि उनकी क्या गति होती है जो पद भ्रष्ट हो जाते हैं, योग भ्रष्ट भी जाते हैं ना, कि जिनका भक्ति कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाती, या फिर जो योगी बनते हैं, या फिर जिनकी भक्ति इस लाइफ में कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाती, तो भगवान बताते हैं कि they remain protected, that in the next life they take the birth as in either in a Brahminical family or in an aristocratic family, where they are given the chance of again starting from that stage. So like that. So there it is. He's glorifying. तो वो कह रहे हैं कि बट उनका तो कोई लाभ नहीं, जो सिर्फ ऑक्यूपेशन यूज करते रहे, उनका इसमें क्या गेन है? कोई गेन नहीं. So good for you. So let me read Sanskrit. This is a very wonderful shloka, 1518. So you can hear it, read it very, very carefully. तस्यैव हेतो प्रयते तत्कोविदो न लभ्यते यत् भ्रमताम् उपारि अधाः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवाद अन्यथा सुखम कालेन सर्वत्र गभीर ब्रह्मसा.
Shall I read, Praveen?
हरे कृष्णा.
मैं पढ़ूं?
Yes.
अच्छा जी, ठीक है. तस्य, for that purpose, ever, only, heto, reason, prayateta, should endeavor, kovidha, one who is philosophically inclined, na labhyate, is not obtained, yat, what, brahmatmam, wandering, brahmatam, wandering, upari adhaha, from top to bottom, tat, that, labhyate, can be obtained, dukhavat, like the miseries, anyata, as a result of previous work, sukham, sense enjoyment, kalina, in course of time, sarvatra, everywhere, gabhira, subtle, ramhasa, progress. Translation: persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmalok down to the lowest planet Patal. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we do not desire them. Purport: every man everywhere is trying to obtain the greatest amount of sense enjoyment by various endeavors. Some men are busy, engaged in trade, industry, economic development, political supremacy, etc. And some of them are engaged in fruitive work to become happy in the next life by attaining higher planets. It is said that on the moon the inhabitants are fit for greater sense enjoyment by drinking somaras, and the Pitraloka is obtained by good charitable work. So there are various programs for sense enjoyment, either during this life or in the life after that death. Some are trying to reach the moon or other planets by some mechanical arrangement, for they are very anxious to get into such planets without doing good work. But it is not to happen. By the law of the Supreme, different places are meant for different grades of living beings, according to the work they have performed. By good work only, as prescribed in the scriptures, can one obtain birth in a good family, opulence, good education, and good bodily features. We see we see also that even in this life, one obtains a good education or money by good work. Similarly, in our next birth, we get such desirable positions only by good work. Otherwise, it would not so happen that two persons born in the same place at the same time are seen differently placed according to previous work. But all such material positions are impermanent. The positions in the topmost Brahmaloka and in the lowest Patala are also changeable according to our own work. The philosophically inclined person must not be tempted by such changeable positions. He should try to get into the permanent life of bliss and knowledge, where he will not be forced to come back again to the miserable material world, either in this or that planet. Miseries and mixed happiness are two features of material life, and they are obtained in Brahmaloka and in other lokas also. They are obtained in the life of the demigods and also in the life of the dogs and hogs. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degree and quality, but no one is free from the miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Similarly, everyone has his destined happiness also. No one can get more or less of these things simply by personal endeavors. Even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to Godhead. That should be the mission of everyone's life.
So, yeah, but I am such a wonderful and strong purpose.
Summary of everything, kind of.
So, इसे Prabhupada इसमें आया ही तस्सेव हेतु प्रयतेत कोविदा. The persons who are active, intelligent, and philosophical in mind should endeavor for that purposeful. It is not obtained even by wandering to the topmost ब्रह्मलोक. जैसे भगवद गीता में भी आता है अब्रह्म भुवन लोका कि, और उसके बाद भूतवा भूतवा प्रलीय कि right from the hellish planets down to the topmost planet of Brahmaloka, there is birth, death, old age, and disease. These things are not spared. These even the living beings are on the topmost planets, they also die. So these things are there, and these are short-lived. So and they say that we are always towards sense enjoyment. Why? Because we want to be happy. That is very short-lived. And जैसे कितने वर्ष में कितने अच्छे से बताया गया कि it will automatically come. That's like when we don't desire for misery, but it automatically comes. Similarly, happiness automatically comes even if whether we desire it or not. But that is the thing that we always desire, but it doesn't come. वै जनो जातु कथान चना व्रजेन मुक्तुंद सेवी अन्यवादं संश्रितिं स्मरन् मुकुन्दागृहि उपाकुम्भनां पुनर्विहतुम् इच्छेन्नासविभुजन्. Yes, Anupama Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Synonyms. No, never. Way, certainly. Jana, a person.
Jatu at any time. Kathanchana, somehow or other. Avrejata, does not undergo. Mukunda Sevi, the devotee of the Lord. Anyavat, like others. Ang, O my dear. Samshritam, material existence. Smaran, remembering. Mukund Angrihi, the lotus feet of the Lord. Upa Buhanam, embracing. Puna, again. Vihatum, willing to give. Itchit, desire. Na, never. Ras Graha, one who has realized the mellow. Jana, person. Translation. My dear Vyas, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes fall down, somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like other fruitive works, etc. Because a person who has one realized the taste of lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. Purport. A devotee of the Lord automatically become uninterested in the enchantment of the material existence because he is rasagraha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of the Lord. There are certainly many instances where devotees of the Lord have fallen down due to uncongenial association, just like fruitive workers who are always prone to degradation. But even though he fall down, a devotee is never to be considered the same as a fallen karmi. A karmi suffers the result of his own fruitive reactions, whereas a devotee is reformed by chastisement directed by the Lord himself. The suffering of the orphan and the suffering of a beloved child of a king are not one and the same. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him, but a beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be on the same level as the orphan, is always under the vigilance of his capable father. A devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruitive workers. The fruitive workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotees foolishly think of accumulating some material power in exchange for devotional service. Such foolish devotees are sometimes put into difficulty by the Lord Himself. As a special favor, he may remove all material paraphernalia. By such action, the bewildered devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives, and so he comes to his senses again by the mercy of the Lord and is set right to execute his devotional service.
तो ये मैं भी एक दो दिन पहले was reading fourth canto where किंग अंक के बारे में there is one person which comes. So उसमें मैं पढ़ रहा था, there is a very wonderful part में Prabhupada ने line लिखी that a devotee sometimes prays to the Lord, may ask for few things, but the Lord may or may not fulfill the wish according to how the devotee has asked. Because the wish may be fulfilled, but it may or may not be according to how the devotee has asked. Because the Lord will see what is beneficial for the devotee to progress and to make his relationship, to make his love towards the Lord more intense, more thing. जैसे इसे लिखा है, this is the shloka also, that as a special favor that he may remove all material paraphernalia. Lord may take all the things that he has given to you, and all the friends are, he is forsaken by all the friends, all the relatives, and everybody is rejected, so that the devotee or the person is forced to take forced surrender, to a complete surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is where he will realize the true mercy of the Lord and is set right to execute his devotion service. So like that, it was a very wonderful thing. And sometimes we see that the devotees also suffer, but the suffering of a devotee and the suffering of a normal person is not the same thing. जैसे यहाँ पे example दिया गया है, the suffering of a beloved child and suffering of an orphan. They are not the same thing. Sometimes devotees put into suffering so that the love of the devotee and the surrender level of the devotee and the dependence of the devotee on the Lord increases, and he feels helpless, completely helpless, so that he is forced to take the complete shelter of the Lord. Idam hi vishvam bhagavan ivetaro yato jagatsthan nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam ved bhavanstatthapite tadesha matram bhavata pradarshitam.
Should I continue, Prabhu?
Idam, idam, this, he, all, Vishwam, cosmos, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Viva, almost the same, Itara, different from, Yata, from whom, Jagat, the worlds, Sthan, exist, Nirod, annihilation, Sambhava, creation, Tat, he, all about, Swayam, personally, Ved, no, Bhavan, your good self, Tathapi, Tatha api, still, Te, only you, Pradesh Matram, a synopsis only, Bhavata, to you, Darshitam, explained. The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from him only has this cosmos, from him only has this cosmos manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after. Your good self knows about all this. I have given you the synopsis. For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukund, Lord Shri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukund because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukund. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the trees. The tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole causing of this creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahman, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the part and parcel hands and legs are called body, but the body as a whole unit is neither the hands nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty, and thus the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, knowledge, and beautiful also. The captivated conditioned souls under the influence of the external energy Maya are therefore entrapped in the network of the material nature. They accept this as all in all, for they have no information of the Lord who is the primeval cause. Nor have they information about that the parts and parcel of the body being detached from the whole body are no longer the same hand or leg as when attached to the body. Similarly, a godless civilization detached from the transcendental living service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just like a detached hand or leg. Such part and parcels may appear like hand and legs, but they have no efficiency. The devotee of the Lord, Sri Vyasdev, knows this very well. He is further advised by Sri Bharat to expand the idea so that the entrapped conditioned souls may take lessons from him to understand the Supreme Lord as the primary cause. According to Vedic version, the Lord is naturally fully powerful, and thus his supreme entities are always perfect and identical with him. Both the spiritual and the material skies and the paraphernalia are emanations of the internal energy of the Lord. The external energy is comparatively inferior, whereas the internal potency is superior. The superior energy is living force, and therefore she is completely identical, but the external energy, being inert, is partially identical. Both the energies are neither equal to nor greater than the Lord, who is the generator of all energies. Such energies are always under his control. Exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. The human being and all other living beings are product of his internal energies. Thus, the living being is so identical with the Lord that he is never equal or superior to the personality of Godhead. The Lord and the living beings are all individual persons. With the help of the material energies, the living beings are also creating something but none of their creations are equal or superior to the creations of the Lord. The human being may create a small playful Sputnik and may throw it in outer space, but that does not mean that he can create a planet like the Earth or Moon and float it in the air as the Lord does. Men with the poor fund of knowledge claim to be equal to the Lord. They are never equal to the Lord, that is, never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of the qualities of the Lord, say up to 78%. But it is never possible to surpass the Lord or to become equal with him. In a diseased condition, only the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord and thus becomes misled by the illusory energy. The misguided living beings, therefore, must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to him. For this they have been created. Without this, there cannot be any peace or tranquility in the world. Srila Vyasdev is advised by Srila Narad to expand this idea in the Bhagavad Gita also. The same idea is explained: surrender unto the feet of God. That is the only business of the perfect. Sarvadharman Parityajya. 20. If there are any questions or any comments that we can discuss, then we can take the decision.
Prabhuji, I mean, not a question, but wanted some more. So I think on 19th shloka, भगवान का 2 बार नाम आया वहाँ पे मुकुंद. So is there a specific, I mean, one, I don't know the meaning of this name. Second, why, I mean, especially that name has been used. Is that, I mean, does that have any
Yes.
significance? Ji.
Just a minute. I'll tell you. I have just Mukund means mukti or liberation. So one who gives liberation and gives anand. Unless one is liberated, one cannot understand. Mukund means who can deliver the liberation. जैसे यहाँ पे इसमें आया है that my dear Vyas, even though a devotee of the Lord sometimes fall down something he does not undergo response like others. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the pursuit of the Lord can ecstasy again. इसी में 2 बार आया ना मुकुंद सेवी, मुकुंद the devotee of the Lord and मुकुंद the lotus feet. जैसे कि the theme of the shloka is this only, that he does not undergo material existence, or he is saved again and again. So Mukund means who saves or who gives liberations. So in that sense, we can say that quality of the Lord is glorified. Who does not undergo material existence. So in that sense. And Mukund means one who gives liberation.
Okay.
The giver of liberation. That is what I was saying. ये मैंने भी कुछ दिन पहले ही पढ़ा था. और
Okay.
So I keep noting it down.
Right.
जो नाम है उनका क्या कैंसर है.
Ji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So any other comment? So we'll close the session. नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी कृष्ण निर्विशेष कृपा सिंधु
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.